In each of Tennessee's 95 counties, the University of Tennessee system rose to the occasion and met every challenge, sought out new opportunities, and continued our tradition of excellence, despite another challenging year due to the pandemic. We held true to our B1UT values. We were bold and impactful, nimble and innovative, optimistic and visionary. Without a doubt, this was a strong second year to the greatest decade in the history of the University of Tennessee. Today, you'll hear from leaders across the UT system and learn more about our achievements in 2021. Our chancellors continued to lead their campuses through the global pandemic with confidence and clarity, providing a safe and healthy learning environment for faculty, students, and staff. So much of the credit for the UT system's accomplishments goes to them. I appreciate you joining us today for the State of the University address. Our chancellors are here to share with you the highlights of the past year, categorized into the 5 key pillars of our strategic plan. There is simply no way to cover all of UT's accomplishments in the time we have, but hopefully this will help you gain a better understanding of the incredible year we had together as one UT.
The first pillar of our strategic plan, enhancing educational excellence, underscores student success as the very heartbeat of our campuses and institutes. Making decisions based on what is best for students is at the very core of who we are and what we do. In 2021, the UT system set new records in enrollment and graduation. Led by a strong increase at UT Knoxville, we exceeded our goal of a 2% increase, achieving 2.7%. The result was yet another new record with 53,983 students. Both 4-year and 6-year graduation rates increased system-wide last year at 0.8% and 2% respectively. 5 years ago, our 4-year graduation rate was 41%. Last year, we finished at 48%. 5 years ago, our 6-year graduation rate was 59.6%, and last year we finished at 64.9%. From faculty to staff, from the amazing recruiters to the student success teams, thank you for your hard work. 2 years ago, UT Promise was introduced, a last dollar scholarship program that guarantees free tuition and mandatory fees at every UT campus for qualifying students with a household income under $50,000. Now, because of costs much lower than expected and a strong start on the endowment, the household income threshold has been increased to $60,000 for qualifying students in fall 2022. And you may have heard that we also acquired a new university in 2021, the first in more than 50 years. Martin Methodist College successfully transitioned to UT Southern on July 1st of last year, and results have immediately exceeded expectations. Enrollment in the fall was up 9%, leading the state. And applications for 2022 are more than double their rate last year. As the Chancellor of the new UT Southern campus, I thank you for your support. We are truly excited about the future of UT Southern and making the dream of earning a college degree more accessible and more affordable to the people of Southern Middle Tennessee.
Research is a critical part of the university's mission. Advancing the frontiers of knowledge creates a more just, more prosperous, and more sustainable future through research, scholarship, and creative work. Our second pillar, expanding research capabilities, celebrates several accomplishments in world-class research, in world-class scholarship and exploration in innovative work. Last year, with $28 million in combined budget support from the U.S. Department of Energy, from Governor Bill Lee, and from the Tennessee General Assembly, the UT Oak Ridge Innovation Institute began building a solid foundation for the future. The 2021 cohort of UT Knoxville students have enrolled in 3 PhD programs, and the first 2 rounds of seed funding have been awarded to teams led by UT Knoxville and UT Chattanooga faculty. Graduate student enrollment in UT ORII's 3 PhD programs at UT Knoxville is at 158, and we are well on our way towards 500. We also successfully launched the Regional TechStars program and recently announced the inaugural cohort of the Industries of the Future Accelerated. We are working with our partners at Oak Ridge National Lab and the Tennessee Valley Authority in support of our shared missions of identifying, developing, and implementing innovative solutions across industries of the future and staying at the forefront of these competitive and evolving industries. Through our collective and collaborative efforts, we will help world-class startups build and scale breakthrough technologies that help address some of our world's most pressing problems. Finally, one of our largest accomplishments of 2021 was the tremendous growth experienced right here at the UT Research Park at Cherokee Farm. Located just across the Tennessee River from our flagship Research One campus, the UT Research Park at Cherokee Farm offers an ideal location for companies and entrepreneurs to collaborate with the talent here at UT. Despite the global pandemic, the number of tenants in the park has tripled in the past 2 years. That's right, tripled. Looking ahead, a recent Department of Energy award to the tune of $900,000 will enable the launch of a new clean tech accelerator program to serve Tennessee companies across the entire state. An early-stage business accelerator that will offer support services to promising clean tech technology companies hoping to tap Knoxville's clean tech innovation ecosystem. These are just a few of the many recent examples of how we are working together as one UT to solve many of our greatest challenges, both in our state and around the world.
I'm Dr. Peter Buckley, the newest Chancellor of the UT Health Sciences Centre. If I don't quite sound like a Tennessean, there is a good reason why. I'm a native of Dublin, Ireland. However, I have been in America since 1992. I'm proudly an American citizen, and now my wife and Leonie are proud to call Memphis home. Everybody has been incredibly welcoming since Leonie and I arrived in Memphis. In my first few weeks on the job, I've noticed how University of Tennessee, its campuses and institutes are truly intentional about coming together to solve some of our state's greatest challenges. And that's at the very heart of Pillar 3, fostering outreach and engagement. The University of Tennessee exists to serve. Through UT's Institute of Public Service, we assisted 793 businesses, facilitated more than $1 billion in customer-reported economic impact, and helped companies create or retain 13,000 jobs, all in a pandemic. Additionally, we assisted 181 manufacturers and facilitated $160 million in economic impact. And our work to serve and partner with others continues. In 2021, 5 new partnerships with state agencies have been officially secured. From creating access for dental health in rural counties to helping bolster our state's literacy effort, UT is serving the state and is now actively consulting with all of the state's departments to solve some of Tennessee's greatest challenges. And speaking of great challenges, unquestionably, opioid addiction is one of the greatest threats facing our state and indeed our world today. In 2019, the Substance Misuse and Addiction Resource for Tennessee Policy Network was created, commonly known as the SMART Policy Network. Last year, the UT system spearheaded an effort to educate every member of the Tennessee General Assembly, as well as statewide local officials, on the valuable resources available through this network. As we move together as one UT, a request for state funding is under consideration to move SMART into the UT Institute for Public Services to create even greater connectivity with local elected officials and to develop a statewide outreach program. Additionally, a proposal is being reviewed by the Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Substance Abuse and Mental Health that will assist the state in the areas of outreach, prevention, treatment, and recovery.
Employer of choice and best in class, two phrases we hear often. But what does it really mean? Pillar 4, ensuring workforce and administrative excellence, is designed to ensure we have the scaffolding in place to properly support our organization's culture and purpose, continually re-examining and refining our processes to ensure our employees have the right tools to thrive. But being an employer of choice or best in class requires core values, those strong fundamental beliefs and guiding principles in which everyone tries to live by. Values define our culture, and our culture is the most important thing that we will create, nurture, and leave behind for future generations. After extensive conversations with stakeholders across the state last year, we unveiled the UT system values, encompassed in the acronym B1UT. These values are descriptive of who we are as an entire UT system, but also aspirational. Yearly objectives and 5-year strategic plans will change, but our values will live on and may, in the end, be the most significant contribution of this decade. Building off values, the updated UT System Strategic Plan was presented to the Board of Trustees last year. Additionally, campus-specific strategic plans for UT Chattanooga and UT Knoxville were presented and approved by the board. These plans are an exciting roadmap for the next 5 years of the system, as well as the Chattanooga and Knoxville campuses. Last year, the UT Board of Trustees reaffirmed its commitment to helping foster campus communities that are diverse and inclusive. A strategic alliance was created to help us develop strategic direction, foster civility, spark robust dialogue, and facilitate awareness opportunities across our campuses and institutes. From veterans to different abled individuals to how we look and what we believe, the UT system is working to develop campuses and institutes where everyone matters and belongs. Finally, the UT system's most important asset is its people. Last year, UT implemented an engagement survey for staff. The survey found that more than 80% of our employees are almost or fully engaged. Quarterly engagement surveys will continue throughout the year to help us determine our strengths and opportunities, and to help ensure we continue to explore ways we can best serve our employees. We have also engaged with the Collaborative on Academic Careers in Higher Education at Harvard University to implement a full job satisfaction survey for all faculty at our campuses this year.
Our final pillar, advocating for UT, can be summed up in 4 words: elevate, engage, invest, partner. Advocating for UT means building our brand across the state, collaborating with others, and developing partnerships that will invest in our future. The UT brand is as strong as it's ever been. From fertile farms to new fields of study, we're telling our story of statewide impact in a big way by painting murals on barns and buildings all across Tennessee. Last year, we secured and painted 12 Everywhere You Look UT murals, and we're in discussions for 15 additional murals in 2022. In fact, we're on a mission to paint one in each of Tennessee's 95 counties by 2030. And we're continuing to tell our story to more people more often. This year, our Tennessee Alumni Magazine was expanded to 4 issues a year, further underscoring that everywhere you look, UT is making an impact. And speaking of impact, last year, which ended on June 30th, 2021, the UT Foundation received just over $312.4 million in private commitments.
This total is the second highest fundraising year in UT's great history, highlighted by the $79 million commitment of Wildwood Farm, which I'm proud to say will forever benefit our campus at UT Martin. The year ended with 66,672 donors, also the second largest total in history. Finally, our relationship with our partners in the state legislature is solid. We achieved 100% success in all funding requests this year, including $5.1 million in recurring funds for the UT Health Science Center, $2.3 million for the UT Institute of Agriculture for Extension Agents, $8 million for the UT Oak Ridge Innovation Institute, and $5.1 million for the Martin Methodist College acquisition, now known as UT Southern. Additionally, UT was granted funding for our capital projects. We absolutely will never take for granted the generosity of our legislators. We sincerely thank you for your continued support of higher education in the state of Tennessee.
Wow, as you can see, the past year was a time of success all across the University of Tennessee. But before we close, I would be remiss if I didn't mention just a few more highlights that show we are not resting on our laurels. We are pressing forward with determination. After Chancellor Schwab announced he would be retiring to rejoin the UT Health Science Center faculty, we selected Dr. Peter Buckley as the new Chancellor for the UT Health Science Center. A very big thank you is in order to the members of our search committee and the hundreds of students and faculty who participated in the process. And we had to say goodbye to Dr. Tim Cross, who announced his retirement after a legendary career with the UT Institute of Agriculture. Dr. Cross has made an impact that will last generations, and we're thankful to him for his decades of service. Thanks also goes to Dr. Linda Martin, System Vice President for Academic Affairs and Student Success, for stepping up to be the interim while we search for a new permanent leader. In closing, we have a lot to be proud of as a state and as a university, but we still have a long way to go to ensure we have the educated workforce to make our state as successful as it can be. In order to do that, we must think differently and expand the ways we deliver education to our students, those graduating from high school, as well as working adults. We have to meet them where they are through dramatically enhanced online and virtual opportunities and through new certificate programs that allow them to get the critical job skills they need in less time in this rapidly changing world. It will take a concerted effort by all our higher education partners in the state. At UT, we are not just committed to doing our part, but to lead by being bold and innovative. Thank you again for joining us today, and an even bigger thanks to our amazing faculty, students, staff, Board of Trustees, and all those who support us across the University of Tennessee system. 2021 was an incredible year, and I look forward to even more success in 2022. Working together as one UT, there is nothing we can't accomplish.